In today's stream, we do more of the inking of all the wonderful characters from WantedHero.com. We have some fun conversations about doing a party and having some celebrations. And I do a reading from my book. And I talk about evil things that go bump in the night. I don't think you're going to want to miss this. So let's get started. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Oh, let's get this adjusted. Happy Thursday. And we have lots and lots of fun things to draw and talk about. Let me adjust the sound here. I found this really nice. Really nice music setup. I'm assuming that it's games, because it says from Pokemon. Anyway, the album's called Ultra Ball, sorry. Anyway, found it on Spotify, and good for Twitch streams, which is nice. So not a copyright problem. Alrighty. I hope you're all well today. Okay. Still setting up my little iPad here, but as you can see, I've made phenomenal progress with inking. Whoops. And let's see, I might need my glasses today, old eyes. So for those of you who haven't seen this before, the stream, or spending time with me, this piece of artwork that I'm working on right now, this masterpiece, meaning that I haven't ever drawn this many people on a single piece of paper, this is the home cover or home banner for WantedHero.com for my world. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to put in as many of the characters from my world as possible, and I have a lot more than this, so I had to kind of pick and choose, take the more prominent ones, bring them to the front in their mixture, and the ones that, even though they're important, they're not as important, and put them in the background kind of to fill in this space. So I had to pick and choose who I really wanted to have up front. And right now what we're working on is we're working on the inking. As you can see, there's a fair amount of detail, and I will be bringing out that detail even more before we color it. And then what will happen is I will color this thing, and then I will not only color it, I'm going to put some extra detail into it. My goal is I really want to make this just super cool, so that people who come to my world, they see that and they are immediately drawn in and curious, so they stay to see more. That's the goal. I think we'll get it too. Anyway, so that is the goal. That's what we're working on right now. I think I'll go through and do the detail after. Let's get the general inking done. You got Death, you have a Theron, you have King Borislav, also known as the Red Wolf. Maybe I should tell stories about these characters while I'm drawing them. Let's see. I want to make sure I get everybody in the front. We have Vin, this is Vin right here. and he is called a techno-mago. Mago is the word for mage or magician, wizard, and a techno-mago because he's a gnome. Morning, Cage. No one said spin that wheel, but like we talked about before, talked about on Tuesday, if we get enough people in here, Wolfie shows up, you show up, maybe Mister, a few others. I think the second half, I'd be more than happy. Let's design a T-shirt. Let's come up with an idea. Let's design a T-shirt. I'll draw it. We'll put it in the shop. So a techno-mago, what I was explaining is a techno-mago is, those are only gnomes. Because in my world I have fantasy, but I also have science fiction. And they merge together. And in the gnome homeworld, which is a small island, and the main city is called Clockwork City, these folks are feared. Gnomes are feared all over the world. Their technology is shunned. It's looked upon as an evil. It's called black magic everywhere else, which is funny. It's just technology. Well, the gnomes have learned a lot of the rules of magic plus technology, and they often combine things together, which is pretty awesome. This is who we will draw next, and this is King Robert III. Let's try it without my glasses. King Robert. Raised by a foster father, or Morpheophilus Smith, also known as Chuck, who is this individual. Technology is black magic in a way. You think so, Cage? How do you figure? I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm curious. Why do you say that? I guess it could be considered black magic to anyone who doesn't use it. I mean, that definitely would fit. But I'd like to know why you think so. So, King Robert III is the last in his line. And, there were those who tried to assassinate him as an infant. And it was his twin older sisters, who were 8 years old, saved him, gave up their lives to save their infant brother. So they died getting him out of the nursery and gave him to Morpheophilus Smith. You know, Chuck warned them at a huge banquet that if they didn't mend their ways, that evil would come and destroy the family, destroy the monarchy. And they didn't change their ways, and they were destroyed, with the exception of King Robert III here. Okay, so Kate says because most technology nowadays comes from corrupt companies. Oh well, yeah, but we're talking about in a fantasy setting. I'm specifically talking Wanted Hero, but yeah, I could see that because the companies are trying to take over and control everything. I could see that. Kind of perfect music for technology, isn't it? Also, a lot of technology corrupts people. I don't know. I'm not one that... I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just have a view of that. I don't blame... I mean, in my mind, my view is with that, when you say a lot of technology corrupts people. I don't know. That's like saying, yeah, my knife cut me, but it's actually laying over there on the counter. It didn't cut me. I cut me. I cut me using the knife. So does technology corrupt people? Does a TV corrupt someone? I don't know. How can it corrupt someone? You have to choose to use it. You know. What was it? I heard some comedian laugh and saying, here's the thing. You want to know how lazy I am? He says, I'll tell you how lazy I am. He says, it took me over 10 years to watch all of Friends. He says, my daughters binge watched the whole thing in a weekend. So that kind of thing. But it also has a lot of benefits. Oh, sure. Absolutely. Like, back with my example with the knife. Is a knife a weapon or a tool? The answer is yes. What are you using it for? Knives are technology. So is a spoon. So is a pan. You're right. I guess we can find all sorts of ways to categorize everything, I'm pretty sure. So, and before you have any conversation with people about just about any subject, you kind of have to have a basic understanding and an agreement on what definitions would be. Or else how can you really properly communicate with someone, right? But yeah, I would definitely say that a knife is technology. I mean, anything that's created for our use as a tool, I believe, could probably be categorized as technology, right? I mean, sounds feasible, right? Well, simple, most of these things are made to make you addicted to them. I'm not sure that I go for that either. Some creations are meant to get you addicted. Sometimes things are created specifically to... I'll give you a good example. Let's take Twitch. I use Amazon all the time. I do, and I'll continue to use Amazon. Do I like Amazon as a whole, as a company? Some aspects. Some things I don't like about them. But that's neither here nor there. So they buy Twitch. I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe that the reason why we have cheers and these bits is to get all of us. It was created specifically, excuse me, specifically to encourage us to spend money. It just was. So, it's only a few pennies. But how often do you cheer? It's to get us to spend money. So, I think it's the same thing, just like it's a benefit. I have Amazon Prime. I buy a lot of things for my business through there, and I needed to have things shipped for me. And the reason why I do it is because shipping on a lot of the items that I normally buy, it will cost me hundreds and hundreds of dollars anyway every year. So I thought, well, get them through Amazon and get the Amazon shipping. It covers the cost of my Amazon fee, my Prime fee, probably 4 to 6 times over a year. So it's just kind of silly not to do it, in my mind. So I get to Twitch and I have that quote free, and it's to encourage me, hey, I can use an Amazon Prime subscription to support someone. Well, now you know what? Here's the mental thing. Now I have $3.99 or $4.99. I have that money free. I can gift one to somebody else. It's the mentality that's there. Just like digital currency. It's like PayPal. You got to be careful with all these things because it's still monetary value. You're still spending money, but because we don't see it, we tend to spend it a heck of a lot easier. In-game apps, in-game purchases. Only 99 cents, but you haven't been able to get past that level in your last 20 tries and you're frustrated. What's a buck? What's $1? See, those kinds of things, Cage, I will agree with you 100%. I don't believe that TV or radio or anything was made to make us addicted to them. I think it was a natural consequence, it was a byproduct of it. Because it's a form of entertainment. It was so much fun. That's where that comes from. But the TV was specifically invented. It's funny. It was actually invented to. It's funny. You hear all sorts of rumors and claims. Claim that some Scotsman invented the TV. But if you go back, it says that was an idea, but the one that actually made it work happened to be a farm boy from Idaho. So, as I say, first liar doesn't have a chance. But my understanding is that TV was originally created as a way to allow the Mormon church, the Mormon religion, to allow them to have their conference. And I kind of, whether that's true or not, I kind of like that story. That a TV was made for a good reason, for people to get closer to God and share it with the rest of the world. And, whether that's true or not, I still think that's a fun story. So, because then in a way I can say, well, I think Heavenly Father is the one that actually created the TV. Then again, I think He creates everything, or at least puts it in our brains. And then we are the ones that end up perverting things and trying to use them for other uses. Just my perspective. Not saying I'm right, just saying that's how I think. And then what you pay for the bits and stuff, something cool happens which makes you feel good. Exactly, which just makes the encouragement to spend that money even more. Okay, for some reason this music is irritating me. Let's try another one. Let's see, let's try number 2. That's a bit better. That sounds nicer. Alright, which is exactly how you feed the addiction. Exactly. But yeah, the Prime sub is nice. I agree. I like it. That I don't have to buy something else, and I get to give that to who I want to give it to every month. And I do. I make sure I always give that away every month. Find someone who's new, I've often, over the last year, I've given a lot to World Anvil. So, yeah. I mean, most things were not specifically created to corrupt, but it doesn't stop people from abusing it and corrupting people through it. I totally agree. Totally agree. And the thing is human nature. It goes both ways. I mean, it's kind of similar to what Evan said the other day that my son said. He said, sadly, today's environment and today's gaming community, he says gamers will, as a matter of habit, will always optimize fun out of a game. I had to think about that for a while. But it kind of does happen. You know, let's take, I don't play a whole lot of games. And so let's take, I mean, I was an EverQuest fan for a long time. And then I moved over to World of Warcraft, played that for years and years and years. And I noticed that you could be with World of Warcraft and someone always has a method figured out. Oh no, I have a better example. Let's take Diablo 3. I enjoyed playing Diablo 3. It's something about, I want to be the guy to go in there and just wipe out all the bad stuff, right? And yet, someone learns so quickly how to take their character when, for example, when you did seasons. I liked doing seasons. Well, you have to start from, level 1. And someone could get to level 70 in like an hour to 90 minutes. They figured out a pattern. They figured out a cheat. Totally legal, but how to work around the system. And that's what they did. And so they optimized the fun out of it. Because it's funny. It's like with World of Warcraft is everyone's racing to get to 60, 70, 80, I don't know how high the levels go now. I think the last time I saw it was like 85 or something like that. And everyone's like, I get the view of, I've made so many characters like me. I've made 4 or 5 characters and worked them up to, at the time, the maximum level. I don't want to go do it all over again. So I get that. If it's the same class, maybe same race. But if it's a new character, like if I've never played a druid, like Wolfie, if I've never played a druid, why would I cheat and jump forward with the druid when I should enjoy that process? Again, that's my opinion. I'm saying I should do that. But most people that I know, they're like, oh, well, I'm going to do it. Here, can you power level me to 70 or power level me to whatever? Because I want to hurry and get to 70. Why? Part of the fun of these games that I understand. I mean, I was watching you in your stream. That game that's supposed to be really, really hard. And you're going through those snake people. Why would you want to rush through that? You're having the experience. That's the point of the games, is to have these experiences, right? So, Prime sub for me is great. My mom pays the $2.99 for Amazon Prime, and I get a $5 subscription out of it. Well, that's awesome. Yeah. Pretty sure it goes in the hundreds by now. I believe if you buy a new expansion, you also get an instant level up to 85 or so. Are you serious? Wow. Absolutely horrible. Yeah. But that's why when I went back, I didn't stay long. I just don't want to spend the money, and I don't want to. I actually just don't want to spend the time. I have so much to do and so much to create. But I went back for a little while when they released WoW Classic. Because I don't even understand World of Warcraft anymore. I mean, I jumped on my regular account there for a little while, and I went back and all my the talent trees were gone and different. And I was like, well, this doesn't even make sense to me anymore. I mean, it probably makes sense, but, I'm used to playing a certain way. I was like, okay, this kind of sucks. So I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. I'm going to Classic. So that's what I did. And then I just realized, man, if I'm gonna play any game, role playing, online game like that, I would rather buy a PC, get it all set up, and go back and join the P99, the EverQuest community. Just go back to those nostalgic times that I just really enjoyed playing. That's how my oldest son, how he learned to read, how he learned to type, because he wanted to play EverQuest with his dad. So, and he did. I said, you want to play this game? You have to learn how to read and you have to learn how to type. Because I'm not going to stick you in a game with a whole bunch of strangers and you not know what's going on. And so he did. He types way faster than I do. Do all this speed reading. True, also a lot of people run past a lot of those guys in Dark Souls because every time you die or every time you rest at a bonfire, they just come back. So once you get through them, once you have already experienced, okay. And a lot of those guys have gone through the game like 8 times, which then makes them way stronger, which means the snake eyes are like one hit kills, so you may as well skip them. That makes total sense too. Well, and also in like my example there of in the seasons in Diablo 3 saying, well, people just don't level up anymore. Well, every season you start over again at 1. I only like playing certain characters. My favorite is I like being a demon hunter. And I get my character to the point where my demon hunter can go through a level 90 dungeon solo and just wipes everything out. I'm not a top tier player, but I have fun and I have some decent combination gear. So when the new season comes around, I am one of those people now because I'm playing a demon hunter again to have fun with the things in there. But I want to work on getting my armor and winning those prizes. So for the first little bit, I am one of those that says, hey, will you power level me up to 70? So I guess I'm kind of a hypocrite. But that's circumstantial. That's kind of what you're bringing up here. If you've already done it, I guess I could say that, honestly, I've leveled a demon hunter to 70 30, 40, 50 times. Why would I want to do it again? But I want to try something different once I'm a higher level. So I guess some of these things do make sense, but my point still stands. We optimize the fun out of things, which is kind of sad. I got an uncle, Uncle Bob. I'm sure I've talked about him on screen. And it's funny because my Uncle Bob in real life is the inspiration for King Robert III, who is King Bob, which his adopted family, refers to him, and Chuck refers to him as my boy. Hey, Bobby boy. But playing with my Uncle Bob, it's funny. He maxes out all of his character slots. So funny. He does. And he meticulously goes through and does every single quest. And he does it every single quest for every single character. Now, he's retired military. He's not well health-wise, so he's home most of the time anyway, and I'm sitting in front of the computer. So WoW is one of the ways that he really enjoys. And he has games like Civilization, things like that, where he can build things. But playing WoW with him it can be fun, but if you don't follow his patterns, log off. Like, I've made so many characters where, all right, Uncle Bob, we're going to play these two characters only when we're together. All right, that sounds like a great idea. And then we'll hang out with each other online and go from there. So I log off and I come back on. I log off when I'm like level 11 and I come back and he's like level 27. Bob, what are you doing? Oh, that's okay. I can come back and help you level. That was not the point. The point was to have these experiences together. But he loves the game and having those experiences so much. It's what he does. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Dark Souls is one of those games where if you play it for the first time, you will put so many hours in it. But once you get a grip of the game, it turns into a challenge to get through it as fast as possible. That's still kind of fun. That sounds fun. I like with the graphics when they're neat like that, I like watching. As if you know the game real good, you could finish the game in about 30 minutes. That's kind of cool. Okay, guys, I have a question for you. And for everyone else that's out there. Have you played Among Us yet? Because we're playing it here at the house. We're playing it so much, we actually started playing it with our neighbors next door. Young couple that has 2 kids. And one day a week, every once in a while, we'll go and we share, because we live in a duplex, so we share a driveway. And we'll pull all of our cars out, move them all out of the way, make a giant circle of chairs, 10 chairs for 10 players, and put a fire pit. We have a movable fire pit, and we put that in the middle, because it's getting cold outside. Put a roaring fire in the middle. Everyone's got a little bit of food and snacks and stuff. And then we sit around with all of our iPads and our phones, and we play Among Us. And it gets so funny. It gets to the point where everyone's watching one another. Anyway, such a fun game. And I don't know what it's like playing with strangers. I only play with my family, but I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I sure get killed a lot. I rarely get picked as the imposter. Good morning, Wolfie, or evening, Wolfie. Hello, lovely lady. It's really insane to watch the speed runs. Oh, I have Zillow bought it for you. So I have only played it with Zillow so far. Now, Zillow, are we talking about Zilla? Zillow? Do I know who that is? Wolfie, have you played Among Us? That's what we're talking about right now. That new game that seemed to be really popular. You can see a lot of folks playing it either on Twitch and also on YouTube. I'm kind of hoping when I eventually get the Hackintosh, I'm hoping that I can do multiple streaming. That I'll have enough juice, enough power to do that. So I see that there are services now that allow you to stream to multiple platforms at the same time. And I really would like to do that. Plus, you can have up to 10 guests. And when we trying, I mean, me and Evan were trying to figure this out a couple years ago, trying to do, up your ink. And now there's technology to do all the things that we were talking about. Too bad we weren't programmers, man. We could have made a buck to support some of these other things we're doing. All right. Goodness sakes, I'm going to need to switch this playlist again. This is making me tired. Let's see, what do I normally use? Let's see, stream beats, no. No copyright sounds. Let's do this instead. But not that one. Oh, good. It's only 42 hours long. All right. Zolothian. He's part of the spirit animals. Oh, okay. Well, so am I. Ta-da! I haven't mixed with any of them in so long. Just woke up from my nap because Luna thought it would be fun to put some claws in my legs and feet. Ow! Sorry, another reason why I don't prefer cats. Yeah. You claw me, I bite you. Well, Among Us is not new. It's a game from 2018. Okay, well, I've never heard of it, so I guess it's caught on, and it's funny how I don't know. I'd never heard of it until someone brought it up like a month or so ago. Yeah, it is fun with friends. Yeah, I didn't get that. Why they charge money on the PC through Steam. I thought that was kind of weird, but alright. Yeah, some people from my WoW guild tried to persuade you into playing a while ago. Did you do it? It's fun. I was telling Cage, we're enjoying. I mean, I have 10 players just in my own house, but we enjoyed it so much, we decided to get to know our neighbors right next door. Really nice young couple. They got 2 kids, and we're trying to figure out what to do. So we did a barbecue out front in our driveway, just both houses together, and because we share a driveway, and put the cars out. Did this round circle of the cars to keep all the babies in, all the little kids in, so they didn't wander out in the street. And then we did a great big barbecue. We owned some long tables, so we did the whole food spread like that, and just enjoyed one another's company. And then when the evening came, what was fun is Evan said, well, anyone want to try Among Us? And our neighbors were like, well, what's that? So we showed it to them. They immediately downloaded it. We were playing till like 11:30 at night. It was hilarious. That was the first time I had ever played. It was fun. It made me laugh. That's the good thing. It makes you laugh. Yeah, Among Us was made and released in 2018 on phone and tablets. And I believe they added it on stream this year, which got a bunch of YouTubers into the game. Oh, well, that's cool. And that makes sense. I would recommend the game. I highly recommend the game. And what's funny is that 2 of my little girls, 12-year-old and 10-year-old, we let them play for the first time. I actually thought it was my daughter-in-law, because my daughter-in-law gave her phone to my second youngest girl, Winnie, And I'm it's funny, the game starts and she's in a white suit, I'm in a blue suit, and I think I've got like the party hat on, and I just everyone runs out of the room to go do their tasks, and it leaves me and I thought was my daughter-in-law, and I just turned to run, and all of a sudden the little graphic of the little knife in the back, da, 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 da. And I'm like, what the heck? Anyway, and what was funny is that everyone figured out who it was because my daughter, who had never played, had just watched us play. She's sitting there with the phone and just went, and then she started giggling. I was like, "Yeah, we don't know who the imposter is." She got her butt thrown off the ship, but that was just, yeah, it's like Mafia, exactly. Werewolven, is that? That's all pretty much the same thing. It's like Mafia, right? This is the same daughter. I gotta tell a story. I gotta tell the story and put it on YouTube. These little just stories. But it's like when my wife and I were trying to do a will, and we're going through and we're asking all of our kids what they want in our will, and none of them want to have this discussion because of course they don't want to contemplate whether or not mom and dad are gonna, die. I get that. But we just told them, this needs to be done. And what's funny is that Carly, my daughter, who's older than Winnie, she says, "Dad, can I have your car?" And none of the older siblings were willing to ask for anything. So she just like threw that in there. And I started laughing. I was like, "Yes, you can have the car." And Winnie, her younger sister, looks at her. She's like, "Oh." She thinks about it. She says, "Dad, yes. If you're giving Carly the car, yes. Can I have the car keys?" I kid you not, we put in the will that Carly gets the car and Winnie gets the car keys. I love my kids. They're so dang funny. They're clever. That just made me... everyone in the room just burst out laughing. But of course her older sister's like... And what is it? I think my youngest boy says, "Dad, can I have your motorcycle?" And I said, "No, because I don't have a motorcycle." He says, "I know, which means you need to get one soon." All right. Anyway, funny children. Love them to pieces. All right, so I think, yeah, I'm gonna do all the outlines with all this, and then I think I'm gonna shade everything in off screen, and then color. But Wolfie, back to let's see. I don't know. I guess at that point in time, I didn't feel social. It's almost a bit like Wolverine. Werewolven, sorry, or like Mafia. It's the same as Mafia. Okay. My kids are a crafty bunch. I totally agree. They're hilarious. And they're so talented. So I think I'm going to outline all these and then I will detail them. Sorry. I was just thinking that I needed to bring up to Wolfie. I'm wondering, should we try to do a t-shirt today? To design one and make one. And here I start doing details when I said I wasn't going to. Okay, let's do the first robe. Because I am more than willing to do artwork and to make a product that I can put in my store, but I would like to make sure that I have something that I can put up in a store. Trying to keep this stream very productive for me in real life. Not that drawing for you guys isn't a heck of a lot of fun anyway, because it is. But I would like very much to make sure that I am always taking what I'm doing forward. So, just wondering if you had any ideas. Can I adopt you? I think you would have a blast. My daughters would adore you. But I thought you love your dad. You speak so highly of your dad. That would break my heart. No, I can't adopt you because your dad seems like such a nice guy. You've always given me an impression that you adored your father. And I see pictures of you going out to lunch and stuff with him. So as much as I love you, I'm going to have to regretfully say, no, sweetheart, I cannot adopt you. I actually did have someone from our community, World Anvil community, ask me if I would adopt her, and I said, you come to America, because she grew up without a dad, and she grew up without a mom. She was pretty much kicked out at like 12, and she's been on her own ever since. And luckily and gratefully, she met a good guy who has loved her all this time, and they take care of each other, so that's wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that. But to hear someone any child not being loved or having a family, it's just, I just don't comprehend that. So my family are gatherers. We love people. I love children. Yes, you would be absolutely adored, and you would have a lot of fun. We're a very, I guess you could say, we as Buckleys, we're a pack. We're a mob. We love one another. We have fun with one another. We laugh together. We help and support one another. And there's a lot of laughter in my house. A lot of laughter. On a regular daily basis. So, yep, you love your family lots. Good. Can you adopt me as an uncle? Why don't you just claim me? That'll work. Uncle Jamie. Yep. The Buckley mob. It's true. We're such a mob. It's funny because the way that I describe it sometimes is I think we're like, what's the name of that dog? What's the name of that wrinkled dog? They're like Chinese temple dogs. It's not Shih Tzu. Shar-Peis. We're like a pack of Shar-Peis. And the reason why I describe it is, you need to be careful because we're friendly, we're loving, we're patient, but if you attack one of us, we're going to rip you to shreds. You won't survive. And you can bite us, but we'll just casually look at that, get up, walk around, and whack you. Like Shar-Peis. I've seen Shar-Pei. My brother-in-law, my sister, had a Shar-Pei, and a neighborhood dog came up and bit it, and it bit into its fur, and it's shaking its head like dogs do. And the Shar-Pei is just like looking at it like, what the hell are you doing? And it got up from sitting, got up, turned around, and bit it with its needle teeth. And the thing just howled, and it took off. And he just kind of, and then sat back down, and all the wrinkles down around his butt on the ground. It was hilarious. Yeah, Shar-Peis. They don't give a crap. And yet, have you ever seen a ticked off Shar-Pei? I seen one once. It's scary because you can't, even as a person, you go and you try to grab it to keep it away from you. Its skin stretches so much, you hold it out at arm's length, it's still pretty close to being able to get you. if not get you. That's scary. So, yeah. Anyway, but they are very, very friendly animals, though. Looks like I need to erase this part. There we go. Anyway. So you can adopt me as an uncle. I've got lots of people I've adopted. Family doesn't have to be blood. There's always adoption. Whether that's real on paper or what you claim yourself. Been writing about the robes. That's what I'm writing about right now in my book. I get to go out with Evan today. We're going to have a awesome conversation about magic in the world. It should be a lot of fun. My uncle had one, and that one was a dopey. He wouldn't hurt a fly, yeah. Okay. Alright, sweetie. You adopt me as your uncle. I'm good with that. Zev is one of those people. I consider him a brother. There you go. That's exactly right. You know, I've got a best friend. I have two friends that I'm closer to than anyone else outside my family. And when I say my family, outside my family, meaning my wife and my own children. I have siblings, and I love all my siblings. But I'm closer to most of my friends than I am to my siblings. Even my local church, I just have more in common. And you know, sometimes when you're family, you grow closer together, and sometimes you grow apart. There we go. That looks pretty good. But my buddies, I'm closer to them than any of my siblings by far. Not that I don't love my siblings. I do. It's just, I know I can count on my friends more than my siblings. That's just a fact. There we go. So I definitely get that, Cage. Definitely get that. What's wonderful is when you consider someone family like that, and they consider you the same thing. I asked my best friend once, which is because it's so funny, because we have very, very little. We have more in common now than we ever have. But we're still, our personalities are so diametrically opposed, not opposed, but opposite to each other. And I asked him once, years and years ago, I said, you know, we don't even have really anything in common. Why is it that we're best friends? This almost doesn't even make sense. I remember him thinking about it for just a moment, and he smiled at me and he said, you know, when we're around each other, he says, I always feel like we're one complete person. We're the two halves, and when we're together, we just make a complete person. I think I cried. I was like, that's like the nicest compliment I've ever had in my life. So, he's been my dearest and closest friend for 27 years now, I think. 26, 27 years. A while. And, yeah. Absolutely wonderful man. One of the best people I've ever met in my life. And he's one of those individuals, very rare, epic individuals that he loves people, truly loves people. And not liking him is like not liking a puppy. So it's like, if you don't like my friend, or have, just treat him kindly, you're evil. You're just evil. Just my opinion, but I think that. You don't like Andai, there's something wrong with you. How do you not like someone who cares for you and respects you and supports you to the very best of his ability all the time? That's his personality. And you don't like the guy? Well, then you're just a jerk. Probably harsh, but that's how I look at it. So, let's see. I consider some of my closest friends among my family. Yep. Isn't that funny though? Best friends don't need to have matching interests. I agree. Isn't that funny though? We don't. Yeah, I've also noticed something else about that but we also tend to more easily, I'm not saying that we do, but more easily have interests in what our friends have interests in, because we have an interest in our friends. Does that make sense? It's kind of that way with a spouse. Though I know I take an interest in what Kathy likes because I love my wife. But that's kind of changed lately. The last few months, we've been spending a lot more time together. It's the COVID thing. But I've always been at home. But I like woke up one morning and I just kept staring at her. She's like, "What?" I was like, "I love you so much." And then I just started asking questions. "So what are you doing today?" And she told me. "And why are you doing that?" "Because I just want to. It's my hobby. It's the, So why is it your hobby?" And I just started asking her questions. Then I started accompanying her on errands. And here's the thing. It's her quilting. So I'm an artist, so I like visual things, right? That makes sense. And she's outstanding in her skill. I mean, she was trained by her mother, who's a master seamstress, if that's a thing. Anyway, she did sewing professionally as a job, had all these industrial machines in her house, and anyway, she taught Kathy Lynn. And then Kathy Lynn took off from there. And one of the things that she took up a few years back, but let me back up. So, Mom, Kathy's mom, I call her Mom, she always makes these gorgeous, just time and labor intensive quilts, these gigantic, beautiful quilts. And she always gives them to her grandchildren on their 16th birthday. Here's the thing, she's got a lot of grandkids, but she just pours the money and the time and the hand stitching and everything. My kids, there's nothing that they treasure more than that quilt that Grandma gives them on their 16th birthday. And all the kids are always looking forward to, next year I turn 16, you know. And Grandma also keeps it a secret. She won't let them see it. It's pretty amazing, actually. So Kathy Lynn's gotten into quilting, and she's phenomenal at it. So again, she's taken what her mom does, has always done, and taken it several notches higher. Today, in fact, after the stream, we're driving up north, and we'll be picking up some of her quilts, which is pretty exciting. And she is teaching ladies, doing a quilting, I don't know what she calls it, an activity. They're going to have almost 40 ladies there, I think. I mean, she's packed. They were going to meet in a small room. She was thinking, oh, I hope, it'd be really good if we get like 6 to 8 ladies. And within the first 24 hours, she's got like 19, 20, and a kid. I said, you're going to hit 25. She's like, oh, I've never done this before. I don't know if I want to do this. And the closer it gets to it, the more excited she's getting, which is fun. But just taking that interest in seeing, because, I'll leave this room, I'll leave my office, and I'll go out in the other room, and she'll be working on, squares or some aspect of a quilt. And she'll lay it out on the family room floor, all these complex patterns and colors. And she just has a beautiful eye for it. I love just letting her decorate. And I don't know, I was just so impressed with some of them. One that really got my attention was I think it was for our grandson. And it had these beautiful bees and butterflies on them that she had hand stitched. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So I just started taking an interest in her. And then on date night, I shocked her and I found out that the #1 quilting store in America is in Utah, and it's like less than an hour away. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything like that. So I looked it up because I was trying to learn more about it, then found that out and went, oh, okay. So I took part of my paycheck, set that aside, planned our date, and I said, we're going out. And she says, where? And I said, none of your business. You're just going to get in the car. And she was like, okay, this is not like my husband. We get in the car, and I'm like all giggly all the way there. So excited. Where are we going? Anyway, so we pull up to the place and go through. I actually took photographs. When we went on that date, I was so shocked at how cool. It wasn't just a quilting shop. It was like a little old-fashioned. The feeling around it was like 1940s maybe. And man, quilts everywhere. And fabrics and you name it. Just amazing. And I went around and started taking photographs, and I'm uploading it into Discord and showing everybody as I'm experiencing things. And I keep asking all the employees, can I go in this room? Yeah. Can I go in this room? Can I go in this room? Because it's like a maze. And then it went from one building to another building to another building. They're all connected. So it's like this little village, and it's all the quilting shop. Anyway, I thought it was way cool. Blew Kathy's mind. So she got to buy a bunch of stuff from there. Now we go back there once in a while for, her high-end projects. And it's just fun. A lot of fun. So taking an interest, and, back to the friend point is, you're right. We don't have to have the same interests. But I'm realizing it kind of makes it easier to gain an interest in things when you care about someone, when you're close to someone that way. Especially if it's aspects of their personality that you really enjoy. That's a good thing. All right, so we did one of the robes, which is right there. Let's see. I have a second robe over here. Let's do another robe real quick. We'll start on this side. these I took from the inspiration of the Lord of the Rings. I have my way of drawing the robes, but I didn't like the way that I was trying to fold the cloth. So, Among Us when? And tell me more about Among Us. I'm just enjoying the game. I think it's a fun game. You know what? That doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to draw it that way. Well, I'm curious, are any of you guys doing NaNoWriMo this year? That's a big subject that's being talked about all around in different areas of Discord. So I'm debating on whether I'm gonna do that or not. I still have the same book, Howling Shadows, Book 8. I very easily wrote 50,000 words last year, so I met that goal, but I have rewritten that book. This is my 5th rewrite, and I'm just now at the point where I just need to be done. I need to finish it, and which is what I'm doing. And then I'm going to hand it over to my friends and family to do an alpha reading and give me brutal feedback of what needs to be changed, clarified, whatever. Nah. That's why. I think that's what it was. Nope. Still have another opening somewhere. That's why. That was the reason. Alright. Have any of you noticed that there is a new... Oh. Sorry, I was just thinking to myself, did anyone notice that there is a new Ghostbusters movie being made? Another one? Another one with all the women didn't go over well. I thought it was dumb. So, I mean... I kind of get irked all this women coming in trying to take over stuff and convert things and change everything, and they're just destroying everything as far as I'm concerned. All the feminists showing up and just torching everything, and all I can think of is, if things are so important to you, making your case for feminism and all that, why not make your own characters? What's wrong with that? And that's not, and let me clarify, this isn't just about feminism. Actually, my bigger beef would just be with Disney. I think Disney's come in and just shot everything to hell. Oh, there's a switch on the stream. We're going in a different direction. I blame Disney for screwing up my childhood memories. They just destroy everything. They kill all the comic books. They kill Star Wars. Oh, gosh. Just to create something new. I will support people that support things that are new. It's like there's a fight now going on of people saying that, does Superman have to be white? The answer is yes. Yes. That's the way he's always been. And if you change him to black or Mexican or Chinese or anything else, everyone's gonna know. And everyone's gonna revolt because he's an icon. He was made a certain way. He is that way. And you changing him, just invent your own character. Leave him the flip alone. Because it's like, I want to manipulate you. So I'm going to take something that you're familiar with. And I'm going to twist it and put my own. I'm gonna twist and warp what you're already used to so that I can get influence over you. Whatever. You're a moron. You're an idiot. It doesn't work that way. Oh. Let's see. Yeah, it was a. Well, here's the funny thing. So the last Ghostbusters movie with all the ladies was retarded. It was so dumb. It was a waste of money. It was a waste of my eye space. I saw the trailer because every once in a while on YouTube I like those videos that people put together, like top 10 science fiction movies that you'll want to see, science fiction trailer movies for next year that you'll want to see, things like that. I like watching those once in a while. So I was watching one last night, and I should find the trailer. Anyway, but look it up on YouTube. It's about the kids. The trailer was a little bit confusing to me, but it was exciting, which is kind of funny. If I'm confused and I'm still excited because it just really got my attention. And it looks like a great storyline, and it's got girls in it and it's got boys in it, and it's I think it's going to be more acceptable. And for me, it's more acceptable because it's kids. It's going to be kids being the Ghostbusters. Anyway, so it's a couple kids and their mom, and I don't know if she's divorced or dad died or what. I have no idea. Anyway, they lost everything where they were at, and all they had left was an old house in the middle of nowhere that was given to them by Grandpa. So they move out to this old rickety house, and in the house, it's run down. I thought it was going to be a horror movie. Wrong, not a horror movie. But the girl, this clever little girl, adorable girl with these big old glasses, and she finds the something shifting one of the wood panels in the floor, shifting like they're rickety, but they're not rickety. She pushes it, and it slides like one of those little things where you try to create the whole picture, so you slide the different tiles over. Anyway, so she does that, and she figures it out, and the thing opens, and it takes it down into a lab. Grandpa was and I don't know which one it was. Grandpa was one of the original Ghostbusters. That got me excited right off the bat. And they have in the barn, or somewhere in the barn, they have one of the original Ghostbuster vehicle, the hearse. I was so excited. Anyway, so one of the kids is like, well, this is kind of cool. Look at this neat, just machinery thing. So I don't know if it's like near Halloween or what, but what's hilarious is, I'm gonna turn this off while we talk. what I found hilarious is they bring it to school to show, and the teacher's like, "Hey, this is really cool. Now you have really gone overboard in bringing a quality costume here, because this looks like one of the things from the original Ghostbusters." And the grandchild, was like, "What's a Ghostbuster? What? No, really, this is great." Anyway, the teacher picks up the containment thing. Remember the containment, things that they would slide and then they'd step on and open it up and suck the ghost down into it with all the ectoplasm and all that. Anyway, he lifts it up. He's like, "Wait, is this?" And it starts to glow green. He's like, "Huh." Anyway, and it shows the oldest brother who is learning how to drive. And anyway, it looked exciting. So I'm very excited to see that come out. Okay, so back to National Novel Writing Month. You've never heard of that. Yeah, you're not into the writing type, but Cage, you do role-playing games. That still qualifies. Absolutely qualifies. I recall you have to write a long novel, but it's 50,000 words is the general thing. But here's the thing about NaNoWriMo is you can create your own goals. It doesn't have to be 50,000. For me, 50,000 words in a month is whatever. That's like, I'll have that done by Friday, whatever. And I did it year after year, so I get bored. I try other goals. So I shift it not by word count, because you could say 150,000 words. It still would be whatever. But that's me, because I do it all the time. So I like other goals, like creating something specific. That sounds more like fun. But you can create your own goals. You could, there you go. I tell you what, Cage, you could create a goal of creating your own unique role-playing campaign, and then give yourself, but it has to contain these kinds of things in it. There you go. So you could have fun. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard a whole lot about new movies either. The only place that I find them is on YouTube when I'm looking for other things. Yeah. It was like that Harry Potter play where they casted a black woman to play Hermione. Really? They did that? Why? That's exactly my point. Yeah, that's off. It's just not... That's not who the character was. So, no. That's... No. Yeah. Honestly, they made Onward. Thank you for the follow. Kajatin. Wait, this is the... I'm sorry. It's supposed to have... I put those notifications up. I did. I'm hoping I'm not going to jinx myself here. Notifications. Enable sound. Then why didn't we hear it? Audio. It says notifications are supposed to have sound. Huh. I'm sorry it's not showing. Emote Y code alert bot alerts box. Properties. I'm going to look it up and see why it's not showing it. Alert box. Test widgets. Everything says that it's on. General settings. Layout is okay. I don't know why it's not. Source. Test widgets. You guys hear that, right? So that's the test. But when you guys do it, it doesn't. Well, thank you for the follow. That, and I'm glad I saw it there. But that's kind of a pain. How come it's not? I don't know why it's not doing sound. That's not good. That works. And thank you, John. What about bits? One of my favorite songs. I have no idea. Why it's not. Are you guys hearing that? Do you hear music on that? Because on the alert box, it says that it is showing it. I'm looking at it right here, and it looks like it's going, but I don't hear it. I wonder what the heck's going on. I do not know. Mixer advanced. Alert box. Monitor and output. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn I have no idea what buttons I'm pushing right now, but I'm comparing it to other things. So, we could test it by, Wolfie, host me or something. Somebody try hosting, see if that, because that's the only thing I can think of to do without costing somebody something. But we'll see. If somebody else follows, just hosted you with one viewer, and I'm not seeing the notification. There we go. You guys hear that, right? Because I heard it. Ta-da. So whatever those boxes were, see, sometimes you just gotta push stuff. Oh, we gotta do a commercial. Okay, everyone stop. Everyone pause, hold their breath. This stream is brought to you by WantedHero.com, and now we're gonna give you a commercial. And we're back. Thank you so much for watching that commercial. And I will splice it and put it in later. I don't know how I'm supposed to do these things, but that's how we're going to do it. Yeah, so that was the issue, and I have no idea what that issue was. All I know is that on the mixer, some controls, I noticed that for the alerts for the animations, like the tip jar, for the Ko-Fi or coffee, for the mic. All those boxes were ticked, and everything else, including the alerts box, everything was blank. So all I did was put it on that I could have alerts, and then clicked all those boxes. Ta-da! That's awesome. All right. Let's see. What are we doing? Let's see. Let's see. I've only seen the Ghostbusters, and I feel like it should stay that way. Did they try to replace the original guys in their roles, or was that the deal? Here's the thing. That's kind of what it felt like with the last version with the ladies. Like they were trying to replace the original, which is, it's a stupid move. Those were fun movies. They were funny movies. You don't mess with that. No, this is a completely and totally new thing. And it's with kids. I think it's called Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm not positive, but I think that's what it was called. But it looks like a new concept, grandkids of one of the original Ghostbusters. And I'm pretty sure it's either going to be Dan Aykroyd or it's either Dan Aykroyd or I don't remember the actor's name, dark hair with the glasses. It's one of those two. Because of all things, there was a laboratory in the bottom of the house. Yeah. Oh, goodness sakes. The main actor from Caddyshack. I can't even remember his name. I seriously doubt he's the one that came up with all the technology and things in that house. It's my guess. So, let's see. Does OBS let the sound of your PC through? Yeah. So we're good. Ta-da! Alright, so got a half an hour left. Let's find some fun music. Let's see. Here we go. I called it Wanted Hero Hot Stream Music. So we'll go to this. Okay. So we've got two of the robes are there. 1, 2. Let's find a third one. Yeah, let's do the third one. Doing the robes. Who are those robe people? These are the robes. They are... Okay. Good question. They are the World Journal. Hang on, I'll find it for you. Okay. So that's what we got. And I will read to you. Ooh, you get a bonus. You can find out this stuff at WantedHero.com, but this is behind the scenes stuff. Okay, so robes, aka the Shade. They're Shade sorcerers. Well, they're actually not sorcerers though. They're the pit bulls, the dogs of Mahan, my main bad guy. Okay, using a ritual. 6 white robes are saturated with the blood of 6 victims. 5 are shed by force, but 1 to make it complete and animate them. The last has to be shed by will. And I believe that is at the end of Race to Tilthorin. So book 2 in my series. At the end, you know what? I could probably read that. Let me see. I'll describe it to you. We'll do a reading. That'll be fun. Hang on. You might enjoy this. Get out my Nook on my phone. Okay, get my Nook. Go back. Let's see, we need Race to Tilthoran. Race to Tilthoran, there we go. I'm going to go here, I'm going to go, let's see, contents, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. No, that's Law Dominion. Okay, so it's Into the Fire. Okay, so hang on. I gotta go to Into the Fire. That is book 3. Where are you at? Into the Fire. Okay. Let's go to boom, 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 boom. Epilogue. Is that correct? Yep. Okay. Book 3, Epilogue. The high winds. Let's see. Sorry, I'm going to need to use my glasses. Okay. Ha! I can see the words now. The high winds sent ice skittering across the cheerless camp like powdered glass, up and over the supply wagons and onto the thick, black, oily cloth of the tents it blew. The hasty retreat from Tilthorn and Tamaun to the south of the highlands had left the Valen exhausted. The Taku now clung to life, expending the full strength of their crafts to hide and speed the movement through grass, mud, and snow, while the Beastmasters drove the soldiers by their whips. The storm continued to rage through the night sky overhead. It was enough. The humans did not have the resources to pursue from Tilthoran, much less be an immediate threat. There was time. King Robert would regroup. He would find reinforcements and eventually give chase to rid his lands of the enemy. It was his way. But the High King would fail. Soldiers huddled around the pit fires, passing the heated blood of the day's kill in steel mugs. Meat roasted on the bone over open flames, the feast for those fortunate enough to be alive while trying to ignore the screams. The screams. Cutting across the howl of the wind until their labored pitch would stop suddenly, cut short. Eyes would dart about the camp, fearful of who might be next. Were the 6 enough? The battered bodies of 3 dozen littered the ground, creating an outer circle around the black dwelling. Bodies of those who dared run when the quake shook the world, mingled with the human slaves from the local villages. Piled too high, they smoldered from the dark magic which slowly consumed them. The ceremony, however, was not yet complete. One more life was needed, the most difficult life, a life given, not taken. Chains dragged through the mud, snow, and across hidden rocks as the procession made its way to the tent. Eyes watched the prisoner who had not fought, not resisted the call, bowing his massive frame as he entered the tent of summoning. This Valen was unlike the rest. There was no fear in his eyes as his lord looked up from the Kala school. Thule nodded to the guards. With swift movements they unshackled the male, garbed in his loincloth. Bowing to their lord, the guards quickly retreated, leaving the 2 in silence. Ignoring his prisoner, Thule knelt over a crumpled body in his ceremonial robes. Midnight black with trim the shade of blood, the double-breasted cut of cloth and high collar were held together by beads resembling snake eyes. The red stitching at the end of each cuff ran up to mid-forearm like splatters of blood. He held the victim's throat open at the wound and carefully collected its treasure onto a white cloth, one of 6 cloths, twisted and wrapped into circles on the floor, saturated in the hot liquid of life. Each circle was surrounded with small red stones, the center of each containing etched symbols. With a sure, swift motion of the ceremonial blade, Thule carved the eyes from the skull cavity and placed them on top of the cloth. Muttering softly under his voice, smoke slowly rose as the eyes melted into the fibers of the cloth. The prisoner silently observed his master's labors. Only one cloth remained, white, untouched. Rising to his feet, Thule studied the naked captive with great interest. It hasn't fled. Your name? Red eyes set on the general. Vescoden, it growled, rubbing his wrists as eyes passed over the Kala school without recognition or curiosity. Deathbite. Interesting. Thule watched Vescoden as the Valen focused instead upon the circle around him, a lingering attention to the blood-drenched cloth placed among the engraved stones. It's trying to understand what it sees, putting the pieces together. Thule grinned. Its stance is strong, sure of itself. It does not tremble or show any sign of fear. Do you know why you are here? Thule asked aloud, moving slowly about the outer edge of the circle towards Vescoden. His movements are sure, steps precise, careful not to disturb the contents of a single circle. Rubbing the blood into his hands, the dried drops flake and fall to the floor. Vescoden sniffed the air, nostrils flaring. It's intelligent. It dares to measure its own strength against my own. Good. I am told my duties displease, master, it snarled, that life is now forfeit. Thule's good eye peered over the orb. And you disagree? The creature stood erect, jutting out its chest. It is a lie. Is it? Thule let the tone of his voice imply the challenge more than the words themselves. The beast snarled. I have not failed a command. I lead many to victory, shed blood of many for lords. I know I am being used. I do also as I lead, fuel for fire of my command. He dropped his head, peering at Thule from under a massive brow. And meat for my table. Nodding to one of the blood-soaked cloths in the circle, your fire is greatest, Lord Thule. Thule clenched the ceremonial blade in a reverse grip and drew it once more from its scabbard. The prisoner didn't flinch, didn't even blink. He just stood, breathing evenly, arms at its sides, hands in loosed fists. The blade was 7 inches long, with a slight curve and hook on the tip for skinning, though double-edged. The hilt was shaped as 2 green snakes wrapping around one another, their tails holding an emerald at its base. 2 jagged horns made from dragon's teeth protruded out either side of the hilt, acting as a handguard. You are not afraid? He muttered to the prisoner. Vescoden growled, long and deep. I live to bring pain, to rend flesh from those who stand in the way, and to pave path for darkness. I fight in this life, and I will fight in the next. The prisoner raised his powerful arms and gave a mighty roar and deep and thunderous. It is fear I bring! As the sound trailed off, he lowered his eyes, filled with bloodlust, glaring at the greatest of all Valen, Lord Thule. My life not forfeit, Vescoden growled. It is given. Thule moved closer. We shall see. He grinned in another challenge. The prisoner said nothing. It bared its teeth in a wicked snarl, and Thule knew it was ready to rend his flesh. A magnificent creature of violence. The lifeblood of those outside, Thule began, are used to animate the inanimate. They are weak, yet they serve a purpose. The shadows are without a leader, Thule paused, holding the beast's stare. Do you know of what I speak? Vescoden stood motionless. There must be one who will command these forms and bend the shades to the Dark Lord's will. Thule gripped the ceremonial blade by the knife's edge and pulled quickly across his palm without flinching or showing signs of pain. Red blood dripped from between his fingers. Animal to animal, Thule knew the way of the Valen curs. Only one can lead. He who can shed his own blood and place his will within it. The blood of a servant, not a victim. Only he who is master of his pain will rule the darkness and wreak havoc on this land. Vescoden's eyes fixed on the white cloth between them, folded neatly upon the ground. Its brilliant white was an abomination among its black-stained brothers. Silently, he knelt and leaned over the circle, stretching out his neck and lifting his chin. No, Thule hissed, holding out the ceremonial blade, hilt first. You become lord over the dead. To become lord over the dead, it must be by your own hand. Silently, Vescoden took the blade in his left hand, leaning his torso over the cloth. Without a whisper, the powerful hand plunged the blade deep into flesh and pulled it across his lower belly. Blood and entrails covered the cloth, bathing the circle in black. The end. That is what creates the robes. So now you know. That is very creepy. Awesome. That was my intent. Whoops, too far. And what happens is it animates these robes, and these robes have particular abilities. They are connected to Mahan, who has been banished to unrest. That is the furthest planet in the solar system. It would be our Pluto, way the heck out there. It's a frozen wasteland, and it was banished out there because they couldn't kill him. And this particular ceremony connects Mahan's will to these 6 beings, which is called a coven. And these animated things are kind of like his dogs. He can extend his will, he can see through them, he can hear through them, he can act through them. And they move in darkness. They're like animated shadows. They can not quite teleport, but they move at an amazing speed in darkness. The more light it is, the more solid they become, and the slower they move. But they also have some abilities, and I don't want to go into that because I haven't revealed those things in the book, so I can't tell you everything. But Wendell has been dreaming about these things for quite some time. And in the book that I'm writing right now, in Howling Shadows, he's being confronted by them. He's been attacked by them, by one. and there's 6 of them. So anyway, da, 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 da. Sees an arm behind Jamie. Yeah. Well, is that what you mean by very creepy? An arm behind me? Yeah, that was my daughter getting ready for work. She sneaks in. Yeah, but they're fun. They are definitely fun. They're a. I guess you could, imagine how they move. It's not. They're not the same. They don't ride beasts or anything like that. I mean, think of like the Lord of the Rings. Think of the ring wraiths. How creepy they are. They're not anything like that, other than that they have a robe-ish type look. But other than that, yeah, they're different. And the other thing is too, there's no physical form inside the robes. So when you get close to them and look at them, there's definitely no face, no hands. It's the shredded cloth and everything that forms fingers, and yet they have incredible strength and speed, and they form weapons from their form. And like I said, it's very limited, depending upon the light source and the amount of light. They cannot be killed by regular mundane weapons, any of them. But fire will kill them, will destroy them. They do fear fire. Regular, everyday, mundane fire. But magical items will do them damage. It's like in the comic book, if you've read my comic books, seen them, I think it's number 5, I think. You can look it up. Go to WantedHero.com. But I think it's number 5 that Green. Yeah. Green and Huey confront one in the comics. And Green actually kills a robe by bashing it over the head with his enchanted lute. Because he's so freaked out of this thing rising up out of the ground right next to where he was, and it's talking to its other brothers, the other robes, out loud, and Green just freaks out and bashes it to death with Huey, who's screaming, "Ow, ow, that hurts, ow," while he's just whacking the robe on the head. Anyway, kind of funny. Alright, so we got, that is third one. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Let's do the fourth one. Let's do this one. So, very fun. Very funny, I think. Alrighty. Enchanted boot kill, yeah. I don't want to go back and find where you guys saw an arm. Darn it. Means there's a break somewhere. Remember to hydrate. I guess coffee doesn't hydrate, does it? Oh, that is nice. Sure makes my throat feel better. Oh, thank you, Wolfie. Okay, so we've got... Excuse me. Okay, so now we've got 4. Where's the 5th one? Let's do this one first. think I need to put up another speed drawing video on my YouTube channel. Okay, and that's 5. Oh, these are definitely creepy. Definitely creepy. Alright, last one. A little bit more challenging getting that done. Filling it in with black. So let's take care of that first. There we go. Alright, looks like my time is up, guys. So let me finish this robe up. We are blessed today to not have a crash. I'm going to attribute that 100% to my prayer before we started. So glad it didn't crash, so we could spend the time together. What's too bad? It's too bad, Cage, that I had to stop. So one thing that I've learned because of my schedule, I can only do the 2 sessions a week, and I can only do 2 hours per session. So much work to do all the time, which is a good thing, which is totally a good thing. It's just, that's why I want to plan some parties. Tell you what, I have an idea. Let me ask you and Wolfie a question. What if we did a party? I did a party thing. You guys let me know a day and a time in your area of the world that you would be willing and able to make it. And then I will plan a stream. And I don't have any problem doing a long stream for several hours. My idea here is, what if we do that and we come up with some very specific ideas, and we'll do t-shirts, make some products there, we'll spin the wheel, and I will come up with some prizes. In fact, it might be fun. I'll give away, I don't know if you guys be interested or not, but I'll give away maybe I'll give away a year's subscription to WantedHero.com. That means that you would get, not only would you get the year's subscription, but you would also have access to all the books, everything. You have access to everything. So it's like buying almost $100 worth of books. And so we could do a giveaway, or do a giveaway anyway, but we could have a prize. So I think that sounds like fun. So think about when you guys are oh yeah, still need to ask Dev. Yeah, can we do that? Ask him and hit me up in Discord. You're part of the server, Cage. Hit me up in Discord and let's coordinate, because if I do a party, it'd be fun to do it, at least to give him the option to be able to be there. Maybe we can, I don't know, but I'd like to try. So ask him, and then you guys come up with some ideas. Hit me up in Discord, let's discuss this a little bit, and I'll come up with some prizes. We'll do some drawings, I'll come up with some prizes. Go from there. Okay? We'll do that soon. Very, very soon. Alright, I'm going to call it a day. And, gosh, this is looking good. Even in ink, this is looking good. So I'm going to keep working on this. And I'm going to start putting it in color once I get it all inked. Get the detail and stuff done. And we'll have some fun. Oh, those robes look creepy. Especially that guy, like turning and looking right at you. Anyway. Alright. Love you all. Thank you for being here. Sure appreciate you. And we will see you again on Tuesday. So, have a great day. Have a great weekend. And you're more than you think you are. You really are. And make sure that you come over to WantedHero.com. Come check out what I'm doing. Check out my YouTube channel. So, and those of you who are on YouTube, come check out WantedHero.com. And we'll see you later. Mister, right there at the end. Sorry, dude. But, hey, there's always the replay, bud. We'll see ya. Have a great weekend.
Come to Wanted.com. Come to WantedHero.com.
Almost.
Come to my dad's website and buy a book. All our books. At WantedHero.com.